None of us really know. None of us really know.
I know.
No, I know. Perfect timing, Keith.
Keith, what's up?
Your favorite movie of all time. Step 9.
Oh, good.
How is there any other choice than Remember the Titans being number one?
I'm curious.
I'm spoiling mine, but
Well, let's see. Here we go. Yeah, that's a good, good
I'm not
question,
even
Brian.
done talking.
you shouldn't be talking at this point.
Welcome back, everybody, to Apocaflix Movies and Apocaflix Now, as we are here for our weekly hangout show here on the channel. My name is Jake. I will be your host for just tonight, as we are now officially in the cycle of changing hosts every week, which is actually it's been quite a bit of fun lately, which is a cool little aspect we've added to the show. As you can see here, I got the other Jake here on hand, Mr. Jacob Bartley. What's up, man?
Not much, man. Just grinding, trying to keep everything together, but I'm here to talk movies and I'm always excited to do so.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's not just going to be a two-man show tonight. Mr. Gio Ramos will be joining us very, very shortly. And Keith Barnes will hopefully be making an appearance towards the end. Just so you guys know, with Keith, with his job, when holidays come around, that dude does not stop working. Which is why you have not seen much of him lately. And so hopefully you'll be able to catch up with him as we see him later on the show. But as for what we're doing tonight, we got a lot of cool things to talk about. As you guys see in the thumbnail and the title, we're going to be talking about Expendables 4. It is officially happening. Some casting announcements have already been made. And we're kind of just going to throw some names out there as people we want to see in this movie, being that it's kind of like this Avengers-style action series, right? Where they bring all these action legends and stars from the past together for this one big giant movie. And who could we possibly see or want in that? As well as talking about Army of Thieves, The Harder They Fall, and the oh-so-controversial cast for Super Mario Brothers.
Interesting.
We will definitely get into that. And yes, as we do here, we usually start with the movie watching challenge, but we're going to be X-naying that for just the time being because Keith is not here. And so before we get to all that, Jacob, I want to ask you, man, we haven't done this lately. And Gio, whenever you're ready, pop in, my man. Pop in. Because this will be a question for you as well.
Hello,
we haven't
Gio.
done this on the channel in a little bit because quarantine kind of ended. But I want to know quickly kind of things that you guys have been checking out, watching on your spare time. Anything like TVs, movies, stuff like that? You guys got anything you've been watching lately? Other than football?
I haven't gone to the theaters as much as I want to, but upcoming, we got a lot of stuff coming out now. So I'm getting ready to get back into the theaters pretty soon.
Venom 2 this weekend, James Bond next weekend.
Yeah, I'm going twice. I'm going to catch Venom 2 sometime this week, and I'm seeing Many Saints of Newark on Friday night with Keith, actually. We already got our tickets for that.
You'll definitely see a review from them too on the channel.
Yes, absolutely. But lately, it's funny. Every time we do a theme around a movie, I rewatch it because I want to be as fresh as possible. So I rewatched The Breakfast Club the other day, which was always great to revisit that. And I don't know if anybody else cares, but the new season of Lucifer just came out and I am absolutely hooked. I've talked about Lucifer here and there over the years, but when I was watching the new season, I was like, this is more than like a show that I enjoy. It's one of my favorite shows of all time. It is just so good. And they're one of the series that I know Netflix does this for most of their series, but I think they do it for all. They release it all at once. So I'm kind of I like a good mix. So Lucifer released it all at once. And as soon as the episode ends, I'm like, wait a minute, I get to watch it, the next one right away. So I've been obsessed with Lucifer lately.
All right. I'll just go quickly. I don't have much to talk about. I watched the 2 Harrison Ford's Jack Ryan films.
Oh, nice.
I also binged the hell out of Sex Education season 3, and I finished Midnight Mass over the weekend. So John Pierce, wait until that final episode, my man. That show is wild. Gio, first of all, 1, how you doing? 2, what you been watching?
I'm good, man. It's busy times now that, work is back and going and, return to normalcy or about as close as we can get, man. I feel it, dude. The grind is real, and if I didn't love you guys so much, I would probably be going to bed right now. So, but as far as what I've been watching, okay, I'll be honest with you. I I did watch this a couple times.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Any
okay,
chance he
all right.
gets, any chance he
You
gets.
asked, okay? You asked. But anyways, other than that, I did rewatch The Matrix Reloaded and Revolutions.
Oh,
I'm
nice.
saving the first one for a hopeful watch along between now and December. So we'll see what happens with that. But I thought it was a good time. I mean, no better time to revisit the Matrix movies. And even going further into that, I've been on YouTube and watching these theories and explanation videos, deep diving into it, because I got a feeling this fourth movie is going to be anything but just a fun popcorn time. It's going to be one of those movies that mess with your mind, and like we'll have those deep conversations. So yeah, really looking forward to that. And of course, more Spider-Man No Way Home rumor videos and whatnot. So you guys know.
All right, so you guys will see more reviews on upcoming stuff that we're going to be watching, because there's a lot of stuff, as Jacob mentioned, all kinds of stuff coming in October. It's stacked with movies. You'll see a Jacob and Keith review on The Many Saints of Newark, and then next week's show will obviously be focused on Venom: Let There Be Carnage. Being that it is the big movie, we'll do a big spoiler discussion, and maybe some kind of topic based around that as well.
And Jake, oh, real quick, I gotta say, like, I feel
fine.
like that Venom: Let There Be Carnage. I don't think we'll just be talking about I don't know anything, but I feel like we're not going to be talking about just the movie. We know Sony is trying to set up a Spider-Man universe, so I'm curious to see if anything comes of it. So
Okay, fair enough. Well, again, that next week's episode will probably be heavily focused on Venom: Let There Be Carnage and its possible connection to the MCU. As I mentioned up top, Mr. Keith Barnes is not here to review The World's End. He'll be doing that on a separate video for the channel, as his hours are a little funky with getting here to review it early on in the show. But I do know who he's challenging and what he's challenging them to make sure we are moving forward with the segment of the show of the movie watching challenge, as I throw the logo up. I'm going to reveal that for him. That way we can kind of get going, and that person has a full week to watch it. It also works out because the two people that he's only allowed to challenge are my co-hosts for the night. So he is going to be challenging one of you. And he was, I was texting with him earlier, and I threw the idea. I was like, hey, can you just send it to me so I can do it on the show? So we move forward. He goes, no problem. And within like 30 seconds, he sent me the name and the movie, and he knew right away what he wanted to do. And after him telling me, it was a clear, like, I could have picked it for him because he's thrown this movie out there so many times for this person. So Gio, he's going to be challenging you, and he's going to be challenging you to the Martin Scorsese film Cape Fear.
Oh,
which has been challenged, I want to say maybe a dozen times when your name has come up.
Yeah.
Have you seen Cape Fear?
no, but wait a minute. I thought the movies on my list were the ones that I could be challenged to.
So he went off the old list, but that's because he's challenged
okay.
you.
We will allow
Jacob
it.
can back me up on this. How many times did this movie come up?
Like almost every single time Gio's challenged, honestly. And Keith actually challenged it to you, Jake, about a year ago.
I
Wow.
watched it a year ago, and when he challenged it to me, correct?
Yeah, so I haven't seen it either. So maybe I should just watch it and get out of the way before Keith challenges me too.
But yeah, so Robert De Niro, Martin Scorsese, what is his name? Nick Nolte. And it's based on a previous film. It's actually a remake of an older film, but it's a Martin Scorsese film. I want to say from 91. I want to say. Thoughts, Gio?
Look, when it comes to Keith and him challenging movies, if there was one movie that I had to pick, it probably would have been this movie that he really wants me to watch. Somebody else talked about it on the channel. It might have been you, Jake.
I reviewed it for the challenge last year. Yeah.
Yeah, and your review did get me curious. So, hell of a cast. Looking forward to it, and yeah, it's always an experience, man. When you discover movies like 20 years after they released, or 25 years, 30 years. So I'm curious to see how this one will be as far as the viewing experience goes.
Especially a Martin Scorsese film.
Yeah,
Which is going to be interesting. So
yeah.
all right, let's go ahead and move on. We're going to step away from the movie watch challenge and get to our first topic of the night. We do have 3 kind of 4 to cover. The first one is a combination of 2, and 2 big trailers were released for Netflix over the last week. Netflix films that are coming out, which are very, very big budget films, very popular films that have really good casts in them. One of them is the spinoff from Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead, Army of Thieves. And the other is the Netflix film that stars Regina King, Idris Elba, Jonathan Majors, Lakeith Steinfeld, and the list goes on.
Crazy
The Harder They
cast.
Fall, the Western film that dropped a trailer today, this morning. And instead of talking about them both, I actually threw the prompt out there of you have to choose one to talk about, your favorite trailer of the 2. And I clearly know where Gio's going, so I'm going to go Jacob first. I'm going to let Jacob talk first because I don't know where his head is at. And I'll save the Army of Thieves trailer for Gio because I obviously know where that's going. So Jacob, Army of Thieves, The Harder They Fall. Which trailer did you like more and why?
So I will say at first, can't go wrong with either one. I'm a huge Dieter fan, favorite character from Army of the Dead. Love the idea of this movie, but I got to go with The Harder They Fall just because I've seen stuff from Army of Thieves, like in Army of the Dead, kind of what he does. So, and this Harder They Fall, I had no idea this movie was coming out. Know nothing about it. And I see the cast, like I didn't even know the cast until the trailer started. So I'm like Idris Elba, Regina King, Lakeith Steinfeld. I'm like, and they keep showing, and then Jonathan Majors comes in halfway through the trailer,
and Ozzy Beats,
and he's like the guy hunting him down.
Yeah,
and I just love the way they said. I don't even know what's going on, like where it's taking place, but the way they set up this world and everything is just so cool. And Westerns, we've gotten a few good ones over the past decade, here and there, handful of them. So I'm always excited for a potential new one to be a good movie. So this looks awesome. And not to take anything away from Army of Thieves, but like just because this one's so fresh and new, it was so exciting, especially with the cast and the concept. It blew me away. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I'm a Western snob, so I love the fact that we're also getting like a modern day take on it because it's very stylistic, right? Like slow motion gunshots and stuff like that. Something very similar to what Army of the Dead and Army of Thieves are definitely going to be doing. Gio, the floor is yours. Which trailer and why?
Let me quickly say, Harder They Fall, that looks great. 6 shooters, Idris Elba, Jonathan Majors, Regina King. Yeah, totally in. But come on, guys. Army of Thieves. Dare I say it's close as far as most anticipated for October, man. Okay, so I love that Netflix didn't waste any time and they said, you have a great idea to continue this universe, keep it fresh in people's minds and where the story goes next. I feel like this movie has the potential because there's a lot of theories going on with Army of the Dead. With Army of Thieves, some of those theories can be answered, but I love that it's a small film, but it doesn't really look like a small film either. The locations, it's very like Italian Job-esque, and I love how it's kind of self-aware. The trailer is like, okay, we have the driver, we have the hacker, we have the safecracker, we have the person kind of doing the planning and all that, like
the mastermind.
A little bit by the numbers, a little bit cliche and whatnot, but it's just the style of the trailer, the Easter eggs, the fact that these safes that they're trying to are trying to crack are owned by Bly Tanaka, played by Hiroyuki Sanada. I'm very curious to see how that goes. I'm very curious to see how Dieter ends up in Las Vegas from where he's at in this movie and what the story is with that in regards. The fact that, this was an idea from Matthias Schweihofer, who plays Dieter, and Netflix, Zack Snyder, they said, yeah, love it, go for it, make your movie. And this has me in. Whether you were a fan of Army of the Dead or not, this is why you pay for Netflix. It's for these kind of movies, and it's absolutely worth a watch. I'm gonna be at my home, but it may have a limited theatrical release, and if it does, I'll be there. So
I'm sure it will. If it's anything like what they did for Army of the Dead, it would make sense if they did. I don't
Yeah.
see why you can't give like a 2-week window where you release it for a little bit.
right,
Let those who want to see it in the big screen go see it on the big screen. So,
yeah,
for me, so I like Jacob said, both these trailers are great. They are. I actually surprisingly really enjoyed Army of Thieves much more than I thought I would. I think I got what I expected and then some from The Harder They Fall, but I'm going to give the slight edge to The Harder They Fall strictly because of the cast.
Yeah.
And I can't get over the fact that all of these actors are in this movie together. Like, first of all, like Regina King had over like the last 2 years, she has become like the woman to work with. She made her directorial debut last year. She was obviously in Watchmen, and she was killing it in Watchmen. Idris Elba is Idris Elba, like duh. Jonathan Majors is the new poster boy for everything. He's everywhere. Zazie Beetz as Domino, and then in Joker as well. And Lakeith Steinfeld is Lakeith Steinfeld. I mean, the dude can act. He can act his butt off. And that doesn't mention all the other players that are in the movie as well. And like I mentioned, I'm a sucker for westerns, especially when they kind of play around with the idea of what a western is, and like the slow motion gunshots or the modern day take on it, where it's set in the old west, but it also has a very present day feel to it. The bright colors, I just really enjoyed it. But with Army of Thieves, like, I was very surprised by what I saw with that trailer. So, but yeah, I'm gonna give the slight edge to The Harder They Fall just because of that cast, man. That cast is outrageous, absolutely outrageous. So,
Yeah, I think that's the tiebreaker as well. Like they're both really good trailers, but then like the surprise element of revealing all the cast members kind of put it over the edge for me.
I do love the fact that Natalie Emmanuel is finally getting like a leading role.
Oh yeah,
I
it's
thought
good for
she's
her.
so good. She's been so good for so long. Obviously, she had a very long role on Game of Thrones. She's now in the Fast movies as well. But outside of that, like nobody's really like giving her a chance. And I love the fact that she's in this because she's a really good actress. Really good.
Mhm. She's great.
Yeah. All right. Any final thoughts? I mean, Jacob, do you want to say anything about Army Thieves? Gio, do you want to start anything about The Harder They Fall before we move on? Anything quickly?
Gio, what's the actor's name who plays Dieter? Or is that it? How it?
Matthias Schweihofer.
Yeah, that dude is gonna be a freaking star, man. Like I think
so, yeah.
he's after this is gonna like start popping up here and there and stuff. He's awesome.
The scream
hope
that
so.
he makes in the trailer, it doesn't get old. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So for any of you watching, and Gio mentioned it, but he directed the movie, correct?
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
Which is crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if he was a director beforehand, but he had this idea, and Netflix and Zack Snyder were like, well, why don't you do it? So that's pretty cool.
Hey, and if it's really good, who
Like-
knows? He could start having a directing career.
Exactly. All right, well, let's go ahead and move on because we do have a big topic to talk about here. Over the weekend, as a lot of things were announced, and I know that Star Drew mentioned that Netflix had their to dumb over the weekend, and we're going to talk about the whole streaming events at a later date because there's a lot of them happening for a lot of different studios. So stay tuned for that on a main topic later on, probably in about 2 weeks or so. But there was also big movie news that announced during the Nintendo stuff over the weekend, and that a brand new Super Mario Brother movie is headed our way, but that it's going to be animated. And they announced their cast for said movie, and it started a little bit of a controversy. And I don't know where everyone lies on this. I haven't talked to Jacob or Gio about this one, so I'm not 100% sure. We're all coming in fresh off this, but I'm going to read the cast list real quick before we kind of get into this. So they released it in order. It was Chris Pratt is voicing Mario, Anya Taylor-Joy as Peach, Charlie Day as Luigi, Jack Black as Bowser, Keegan-Michael Key as Toad, Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong, Kevin Michael Richardson as K-Mac, Fred Armisen as Cranky Kong, and Sebastian Maniscalco as Spike. A very stacked cast in the form of actors, comedians, television people as well. Very comedic heavy. If you did not catch that, very, very comedic heavy. but a lot of people online were not happy about this. They were not loving the idea of some of these actors voicing these characters, strictly because it was an animated movie. So why wouldn't you just get the characters or the voices who have voiced them before to do it? But I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this, whether good or bad. Maybe a favorite cast, maybe a not favorite cast member. Gio, I'll let you start this one off.
So I remember a couple of years ago, Nintendo announced that they were opening a film division, and I thought, like, oh, okay, they're gonna give it another crack at the Mario Brothers, live action. It's been enough time since the John Leguizamo and what's his name? Oh, from Peter Rabbit. What's his name? God damn it.
Roger Rabbit.
Bob. Yeah.
Bob Haskins.
Bob Haskins. Thank you.
Bob Hoskins. Bob
Hoskins. Yes. But the more I thought about it, because when I found out that it was an animated movie, I was like, but this might be the right direction to go, honestly. And I the fact that Nintendo is getting some big names. I mean, these are big names for like this voice cast.
Oh yeah.
Tells me that they have a lot of confidence in this project. The fact that they're partnering with Illumination, who does
I forgot to mention that. Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
The Despicable Me movies. And for myself, look, I get it. Okay, like give people who don't get as much work in Hollywood a chance to shine and whatnot, but you're also getting some big names too, and that counts for something. So I personally have no problem with it. I love Jack Black as Bowser.
I think that's the consensus pick for everybody. I think everyone is okay with Jack Black as Bowser.
Right. And I don't know. I mean, it could go one way or another. We haven't seen or heard anything, but just on paper, Jack Black as Bowser. Everybody else is great. Anya Taylor-Joy as Peach. Wow. Like,
I think that's a good one too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a good one.
Big names behind this project. And that kind of gets me interested in this. At the end of the day, it is a kids movie, but we also, us, grew up in that Nintendo Sega Genesis era. We were kids during that time. So like,
I still play Mario on my phone.
Like,
yeah,
Mario
I play my
like,
Switch, Nintendo Switch all
Well,
the
they
time.
have, I mean, Mario Kart, Mario. There's apps in the Switch and everything. Like, I still play Mario.
I remember Mario Tennis. That was fun. But
Mario Tennis was baller. Mario Golf. I play Mario Golf.
Mario Golf. Yeah. So yeah, I'm in. I love this. I love that Netflix is putting big money behind this and getting some big talent. So
I think Sean brings up a really good point here, Mr. Wingblade. Who, congratulations, Sean. He got his FCL win today. Got another one.
hey,
Oh, nice. Good job, man.
The casts are fine, just fine. I really hope they don't do any sort of stereotypical offensive accent. Make it your own.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I didn't know how to phrase it, but that's very well said, to be honest. Because on the surface, this cast is incredible. Look, animated films, the movie making is a business, right? So what do they have to do when you play the trailer and they show the character or they do the big list of names? You see Chris Pratt, Anya Taylor-Joy. That's for the adults, right? Because the kids don't know who they are. Most of those actors are. So that's for the adults to say, "Oh, I want to go see that. Chris Pratt's in it. Charlie Day's in it." It's almost recreating the Lego Movie voice cast in a way. Yeah, Charlie Day and Chris Pratt in that as well. And I could see them going for that sort of vibe, but I don't want to say that they should have gotten like authentic Italian actors to voice Luigi and Mario, but I kind of wish they did, only because I'm afraid that they might try to do like Chris Pratt doing an Italian accent or Charlie Day doing an Italian accent. I have a feeling they're just going to make it Mario voiced by Chris Pratt, and he's going to do the Chris Pratt voice and Charlie Day as Luigi. So I think that should be fine. But yeah, it's a great cast on the surface. And you guys know I love Seth Rogen. So, and I'm also, Donkey Kong is also my favorite Nintendo game, Donkey Kong Country.
nice.
And I still play the Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, which is so hard. I'm stuck on I'm only defeated like 25% of the game and I can't get past the level. That's another story for another day. But I like, at first I'm like Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong, and I'm trying to imagine it in my head. I'm like, that's so weird, but I could see it working, I guess. You know what this is going to do? All these characters have sounded a certain way for so many years, and now we're going to just hear these voices after this.
It's going to be super strange. And I do think that, I mean, I would hope anyway that they allow them to kind of do their own thing.
Yeah.
Whatever it may be. I mean, you cast, look, whatever you may think about Chris Pratt voicing Mario, which I understand the argument here against it. But you also have to keep in mind that Chris Pratt is coming from a comedic background, and the dude knows how to, he knows how to riff. He can just go off and just do stuff randomly and make something out of it. He can be given one line and make a whole page out of it. I don't think that he'll do some kind of accent. Maybe they'll do a joke like where it slips in at some point, and he's like, no, or maybe like. This is totally wild, but maybe like the story takes them out of their world of Mario and they become like our accents. Then their accents are gone or something. I don't know. Maybe it just plays into the story. We really do have to wait to see what happens with the movie itself to understand.
Or what if they do like a Jumanji thing where like people, like just regular people go into the Mario game and now they're the voices.
I mean,
they could do
you
that.
Never know. Like you really do never know that. I mean, it's very possible. But either way, on this, we're just talking about at a basic level, not knowing any story beats, what they're going for. I think both of you had mentioned the cast it's a great cast. It's a really, really good cast. Yes, it's an animated movie. We've seen animated movies in the past have really good voice casts, but you have to be able to draw people to the box office. And Chris Pratt, Keegan-Michael Key, Charlie Day, Jack Black, those names are going to draw people to the box office. Anya Taylor-Joy, after her Edgar Wright movie coming out this month, like those people are going to be drawing you to the theater to see this movie. Let's be real. There are about 90% of the 30 and up population isn't going to go see this unless they hear these voices in this movie. Like,
true. Hey, do you guys, Yoshi doesn't talk, huh?
A lot of these characters don't talk, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't think Yoshi talks. I was gonna say, where's Yoshi at? Because Yoshi, I always
talk.
Not really, to be honest.
That's what I was thinking. Then doesn't Bowser just say Bowser? Like,
yeah.
am I wrong?
Now that you're mentioning it, a lot of them don't talk that much. But I think Yoshi literally can't talk. So because I always choose Yoshi in Mario Kart. So I was wondering where. I'm sure he'll be in the movie.
Yoshi's always the fastest. So
yeah, I think. Because Mario rides on Yoshi, right? Like if you get him on the original game. So I bet you Yoshi will be like his pet or something. I'm sure.
Justice for Yoshi. All right. We'll go and move on. We'll get away from the Mario talk here. Let's get into our main topic. A little bit of a fun one here. So the Expendables 4, a few weeks ago was officially announced. And it was actually announced with a few cast members that were already included in the cast. First of all, Jason Statham, Sylvester Stallone, Dolph Lundgren, and Rennie Couture are returning from the previous films, but they have also added Antonio Banderas. They have also added Tony Jaa, Megan Fox, and 50 Cent are the four that have been added to this cast so far. Now, if you have seen the previous Expendables movies, you know that 8 is never enough for this crew because they either die, retire, are in one scene, pop in for a second, whatever may happen. I think Expendables 3 had like 20 of them. But we wanted to kind of have a little fun tonight and talk about maybe some actors that we would love to see in this franchise that have not appeared yet, which is probably a very slim list because, I mean, Chuck Norris has already appeared, Harrison Ford, Van Damme, they've all been in this. So some no names, some people who we have not talked about in the Expendables yet. Let's just kind of open it up, have a little open, fun conversation tonight. Does anybody want to go first about a name, or maybe talk about the movie first and the cast, and then kind of move on to?
Is it Expendables: A Christmas Story? Is that what it's called?
I don't think so. Gio, you're muted.
That's the working title.
So it must be based around Christmas, but I doubt. I doubt it's titled that.
Okay.
Here's a note. Jason Statham, his character's name is Lee Christmas.
Yes, Lee Christmas, yes.
So it could have something to do more with Jason Statham Remember in the first movie,
Interesting.
there was that subplot where his, I don't know, ex-wife and like the abusive guy, and he
Mhm.
goes to the basketball court and beats him up. And it's been like 10 years. If you don't remember, it's okay.
No, I remember. He got his
Yeah.
ex-wife back. They were
Yeah.
separated, and then he got his ex-wife back. Yeah.
Yeah, weird side plot to put in the movie, but still, I mean, Jason Statham kicking ass.
Wasn't the first one like more grounded? I've only seen each of these once, so I think the first one was
The first one was very grounded compared
Yeah.
to
the other two.
overly serious?
the first. Okay, that's a better way of saying it. The first one took itself too serious,
I see.
and then
And
second
everybody
and
loved the
three-
second one,
Second
huh?
and three were
Yeah.
like, let's just have fun and make old school '80s action movies in the
Yeah.
2010s, and here you go.
Okay, so when I was looking up actors, I was like, that'd be a good one already in the movie, already in one. Like, so if I name somebody who was already in these, I'm so sorry, but
So
I
I
tried.
do want to correct myself.
tried.
Antonio Banderas was in the third one. That is
Okay.
my mistake. He's returning. So Tony Jaa, Megan Fox, and 50 Cent are the actual new additions to the cast on top of them. Which I think, I'll say this right off the bat, I think they're all great additions. I especially love the addition of Megan Fox. I think she's a great addition to this because I've actually seen her in some action stuff, and she can hold her own a little bit. She's not bad. And she's kind of in this like resurgence where she's doing some movies that are starting to pop up, and people are starting to kind of give her a little bit more roles. And I think she can really make a statement if she's given some badass scenes in this movie.
Well, that's the whole point of this franchise, right? Stallone basically took it like old action stars or old movie stars that were kind of forgotten and putting them back in these movies. So
100%.
I think she could fit that because she was a
100%.
huge mega star. Like
Well,
at the time Transformers came out, like she was huge, and now she's kind of an afterthought.
In 3, and Gio, mistake me if I'm wrong, but 3 was kind of like the return of Mel Gibson.
Yeah, that
because he played the villain, and then people were like, "Oh, we need to get this guy back in front of the camera."
Yeah, and then he did Hacksaw Ridge a few years later. But the thing I hated about 3 was they tried to force these new, younger Expendables.
Oh, like
and
one of the actors from Twilight was in there.
What's his name?
Yeah.
I don't.
Was it Kellen Lutz or no?
Kellen Lutz.
It was. Oh, okay.
Ronda Rousey.
Victor
Ortiz.
Didn't they make the third one PG-13 when the first two are rated R?
Yes.
Also,
they did.
That's interesting.
I watched that in the theater by myself, and I hated it. Aside from like Wesley Snipes, Antonio Banderas, and Mel Gibson, those three were just phenomenal additions. And obviously, only two of them can come back if you've seen the third one. But that's what I don't want to see is, the veterans of action stars, action movies take a back seat, because that's not what this franchise is. These young people, they can go sign on for superhero roles and whatnot, so let the veteran action stars, the stars of the macho era of action films, have their last hurrah, essentially. And that's what I hope happens, but we'll see.
Let's do one at a time. There's a lot in the chat. I'll wait to bring them up. I'll wait to bring them up. I have a list of like 8. I'm not going to reveal them all. So I'll happily go first. But if anybody would like to take the floor and reveal a name, we can talk about it and kind of move on from there.
Well, I mean, I was gonna say you gotta have Steven Seagal in one scene.
Nice. That's a good one.
And then you got to kill him off. You got to kill him off.
Rachel was like, no, but I mean, like, come on now. Like, if we're talking about action stars, like late 80s, 90s, Steven Seagal was a big deal, okay? Like, hard to kill, above the law, under siege. Hell, even Fire Down Below, I think that's another one that he did. Like, it's just, it would be like
he needs to be in
a missed opportunity, just to have him in one scene, so.
I agree with Steven Seagal. He, as much as you may disagree with his movies and how bad they may have been, he was in a lot of 90s action movies, a lot. And that's what these movies are for. Like, I mean, Dolph Lundgren was never in the greatest action movies, and he's going to be in all 4 of these.
Right.
So I definitely agree with Steven Seagal. I'll say one right off the top, and I think this person 1000% needs to be in this, and that is Linda Hamilton. Linda Hamilton needs to be.
Yep, that's so perfect. How did I not think of that?
You need to bring the Sarah Connor into this franchise. The fact that she hasn't been in any of these yet is ridiculous. But I mean, she returned for Terminator Dark Fate, which I actually enjoyed. Which means she's willing to do these type of roles again. And from what we've seen from these movies, unless you're part of like the main group, you don't get like a ton of scenes. That's enough to get her on board. Linda Hamilton, bring her on board, make her a part of this franchise. She needs to be in this.
Can I say something real quick? Jake, you just reminded me there was an idea for a female spinoff called the Expendables.
Expendables. Yeah.
Expendables.
What the fuck happened to that?
I don't know.
Seriously.
I don't know.
That's a great
Get her,
idea.
get Jamie Lee Curtis. They're all, get them in for one movie. Fuck. I don't know.
Maybe this reignites that possibility. Let me look it up.
Well, look, they were in production. They were like in pre-production on it, and then who knows with all the COVID stuff, everything got, questioned. Everything they were working on. But look, everybody, it's been mentioned in the chat several times. It was my number one name on my list is Jackie Chan.
Yeah,
I know I was doing some research because I wanted to make sure he didn't appear yet, and he was supposed to. Like Stallone's been trying to get him for like the last couple of them, and he wasn't able to get him. And look, I don't remember like a bigger action star when I was a kid than Jackie Chan. Man, he's the man. He does all the stunts. I like if they introduce him as like a main character or a villain or whatever they want to do with him. He has to have a big role.
He can't be a villain.
He could be.
Villain.
He could be. No, he's too likable. Like he's so likable. But
so since the last one, he did that movie The Foreigner, which was heavy action.
Yeah.
Heavy action. So,
like I didn't love that movie, but he was great in that movie. And I would just if he appears, I want him to have a big role though. I don't want it to be like appear for 1 minute and then he dies or something.
Sure.
I think I'm cool with Seagal doing that, but Jackie Chan has to have a big role.
I agree. Jackie Chan for sure. I really love this choice as well. Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah.
Michelle Yeoh would be great. That'd be great. Gio, do you have one off the top of your head? Because I have one sitting here that I want to mention as a villain, which would be badass.
Well, I had it, but I can't remember.
Slipped your mind.
Fuck.
Okay, let me real quick. I'll say.
No. I have it. Yes. Sorry. You got to get Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, he was on my list too.
He's on my list too.
You have to. Like,
yeah.
There was the Keanu Sans is here. You have to put him in there.
Villain too. Villain. If I think
might as well bring in Carrie-Anne Moss.
There you go.
Hey.
But somebody
merge the Expendables and maybe the Expendables world is the Matrix.
There you go.
Hey, kind of studios.
Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah, he would fit in this too. He really would.
Yeah. I have someone as the villain, which would be a lot of fun. Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah.
James Bond coming back as the villain.
That's or just appearing at all. That's a great one.
Make him the villain. He'd be a good. The reason I thought of it is because he was the villain in The Foreigner. And he didn't do a lot of action in the movie.
No, he was. Yeah.
But I think he'd be great as the villain.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I'm with you. But man, you got to get Keanu Reeves. Like,
yeah, he was. I wrote Jackie Chan first, and then Keanu Reeves was the second name I wrote when I was making my list. And it would be perfect.
I mean, like, there was that time when you were transitioning from the Stallone, Schwarzenegger, Van Damme, Seagals to like the Bruce Willis, Keanu Reeves type of action stars.
Tom Cruise,
exactly like all ripped and whatnot. So
Nick Cage.
Oh my goodness!
Yes.
How did I not think of that?
Nick Cage for sure. Come on.
Wait,
Nick
has
Cage
John
don't do
Travolta
anything these days?
Has John Travolta appeared in one of these yet?
No.
Oh, he could. They could throw him in there too.
Sigourney Weaver for sure. Ripley,
so I was gonna bring up Sigourney Weaver next, but we'll just say it now. Like as soon as you mentioned Linda Hamilton, I was like, we gotta get Sigourney Weaver in there. In here, like that.
Maybe that's the beginning of the Expendables.
Yeah, like them two lead it, and then you add a bunch of other women in the actual movie. Yeah, that'd be really cool.
I have one that you might love. Michelle Rodriguez.
I thought about her too.
Yeah. I mean, like there aren't too many. Like, but before before the MCU and the Scar Joe and all that. I
Scarlett
mean,
Johansson would be badass.
yeah, why not?
I tried to avoid ones that like they're
Expendables.
still a star right now.
Yeah.
So
That's the same.
but-
Same here.
but even like there's people who were like perfect for this and now they're like Keanu Reeves, right? Like 5-6 years ago before John Wick, he would have been perfect for this. He still is, but like now he's back on top, Gio, did you have another one or
Well, I mean,
what?
like, I don't know how this would. I mean, you just kind of killed it. I was gonna say Dwayne Johnson, but
No.
he
No.
is. Come on, he is the modern action
I
star.
don't want someone who is like as big of a star today.
Well, he's the highest paid actor in the world right now.
Yeah, like I know
He's the biggest star in the world.
I wouldn't. If you're gonna do it, make him the bad guy.
Yeah,
Well, no,
and
not
that would
only
make sense
that,
where
it's like-
the new star is fighting all the old Expendables.
Yeah, there you go. Like, yeah.
Hey, you get Stallone and Schwarzenegger 2-on-1 against The Rock. Who would have thought we'd ever see that, man? That's just
Hey, the
like-
box office definitely spikes up a little bit.
This movie's gonna make a butt ton of money. I have one that I'm surprised has never been in one of these movies, and I'm surprised has not been mentioned yet. But Kurt Russell.
Oh, it's a good one.
Kurt Russell was in a bunch of stuff.
Oh yeah,
in
the
80s,
Escape
90s.
Snake Plissken.
He's been in so much. I'm surprised he hasn't been in one. I'll just mention another one right off the top. Make it a Rocky reunion. Carl Weathers. Bring in Carl Weathers.
Yeah, why? I'm surprised he,
I wonder if he denied an option to do it. I mean, because we didn't see a whole lot of him before The Mandalorian. Like he wasn't really
that's
doing
true.
stuff. And why not? He's back in it. Why not? Let him direct it. He directed The Mandalorian. Let him direct The Expendables 4.
He did direct an episode. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, did Stallone direct all three of these?
No, I don't think
No.
he did. He didn't do
I-
one of them. I think he did I know he did for the first one for sure.
I think he did the first two.
Let's
But
see.
that's who slipped my mind. Was Donnie?
No,
Yen.
he did not direct 3. He did not direct 3.
All right, Jake, I got another one that you're gonna love. You might have written her down.
He didn't
Mila
direct 2 either. He didn't
Mila
direct
Jovovich in The
Oh.
Expendables.
She was going to be a part of the Expendables.
She was going to
Oh,
be. I
was
think she was
she?
going to be the main Expendable.
because she was an action star. I mean, she's still
Resident
working.
Evil. She did like
She's
8
still
of them.
working, but I think she fits this perfectly.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
She'd be badass. And sticking with that theme, Uma Thurman.
Yeah, somebody mentioned
gotta
her in
be
the
in
chat.
there.
Yeah, that's a great.
You
one.
got to make her have a sword. She's
For
gotta have a
sure.
sword.
For sure.
Yeah. Would Tom Cruise fit in these movies? I feel like he would be having the
No.
Expendables do some ridiculous stunts, and they're like, "Whoa,
I
Dude.
don't think they have.
He'd be
enough
like,
money
"We're
to-
too old for that."
I don't think they have enough money to bring Tom Cruise on.
yeah."
I mean, he
I have a-
definitely fits, but he's still a big star. Is the thing?
Brian, he would actually be a great villain for this. Ed Harris would be a
Yeah.
great villain for these.
Hey, he's making a sort of comeback with Maverick, Top Gun Maverick. So
Someone who is still acting but never really got the due that he deserved, Gerard Butler.
yeah, he's one of those actors who like never really like made it to A-list. Like
But he's still kicking ass in all these action
I
movies.
love
Like,
Gerard Butler, man.
all the Fallen movies that he's doing.
Yeah,
no.
he's so underrated.
No, I agree. He can do that. He did that romance movie with Jennifer Aniston. I can't remember what it was called, but
He's done a couple romantic comedies. He's done a
yeah.
few.
yeah.
Rachel, you don't know me. You don't know me, Rachel.
Yeah, that's definitely a good one. Man, so I thought of this one. I don't know if it'll work or not, but what about Matt Damon? Like I
mean,
think
yeah,
Matt Damon's
Jason
still a big
Bourne.
star. He's still a big
He
star,
is.
but I don't know if he's a big action star anymore.
Well, he's done with Jason Bourne, and look what he did
Ah.
with those movies. So, I mean, he's currently still a star, but he's finishing up his run. But Daniel Craig,
Hey. Yeah.
Hey.
I
you-
wasn't gonna mention him, but I wasn't gonna mention Daniel Craig because I had someone else on my list that I think is a perfect choice. But Liam Neeson,
Oh my!
Duh.
How has Liam Neeson not appeared in
Duh.
these? What?
Duh.
because at the time of the second and third one, he was like doing all these other
Making
action
all the
movies.
Yeah, he still kind of is. Like he at least releases one action movie a year, at least.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
got
he just did
him.
one on Netflix that was actually pretty good. So, The Ice Road. So.
I heard about that. Yeah. I don't know, but I mean,
Okay, what was that, Gio?
no, so somebody mentioned it earlier, but I mean, Donnie Yen, he kicked ass in Rogue One, and he's like one of those martial arts stars that never
Yeah.
quite made it to stardom, but like who he is.
Oh, for sure. It has. See, all right. I'm not too familiar with the Expendables movies. I've seen them all once each. So like, he has not appeared in these yet.
No, he
Wow.
hasn't. As far as like martial arts goes, I mean, Jet Li kind of.
Yeah.
And the third one, he was more like they just gave him a gun and whatnot, which another thing I didn't
Jet
like.
Li with a gun.
Yeah.
He doesn't need a
Hey,
gun.
you've seen the movie The One?
One just popped in my head. Brendan Fraser.
Oh, that's yes, please.
Make him like
Yes.
one of those agents who are like, assigning him a mission or something.
Yeah, make him like the guy that backs him up or something, because
Hell yeah.
he has. I mean, he's not doing a lot of action these days, and he's voicing a character on Doom Patrol. But I would love to see him back in the mainstay. I mean,
Yeah.
there's so many actors out there.
You guys tell me, has Danny Trejo appeared in an Expendables movie?
No,
He needs to, man.
but
If
he's
there was
he's
one-
the perfect choice.
Yeah,
for it.
isn't he? Wouldn't he be great?
He would be.
Yeah.
You need to give him a machete though,
I'm down for that.
that
or
would
make
be
his name Machete.
bad.
Make it a crossover. Just make it a crossover.
Man.
I love Danny Trejo, and those Machete movies are so dumb, but I love them. I love them.
One.
They're both dumb. The second one is like super dumb.
I never saw the second one, but
It's
I don't know.
it's insane. But they're like
alcohol.
they're made to be dumb. Those movies.
I've seen a couple people mention these names. I saw Dom mention Ving Rhames, who is in the Mission Impossible movies, and then Star Drew has also mentioned Michael Jai White.
Yeah, I love
Yes.
Michael Jai White.
Again, he's one of those a real martial artist, by the way. Who,
Yeah, he is.
Never made it. Fuck, and I'm just
face-off
I'm upset at
reunion.
that.
Yeah, that's what I was
Hey,
thinking when they brought up
Side
Nick
note,
Cage.
do you guys think they'll
Martin
No,
Lawrence.
no, no.
What?
They
When I
won't
said
appear.
Martin Lawrence, that's funny. But he fits kind of. But what were you saying, Gio?
Well, no, I was just off the topic question about the Face Off sequel. I was like, you think they'll appear both? And it's like, obviously not if you've seen the first one. But,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think it's a gender swap remake, isn't it?
No, they said it was going to be I don't know how, but they said they were going to make a direct sequel. But I mean, who knows with that project,
So I know that this person doesn't really fit what we're talking about, as far as like a legend, action legend. But if they did something where they brought in like a modern day person, this is the first person that popped in my head, and I can't believe this person was the first person that popped in my head because it's a Geo person, but Dave Bautista.
Batista.
Because of all the action and the type of roles he fits into, he really does fit in this type of movie. Because let's be real, a lot of these guys who were in these 80s movies were not very good actors. They were just there for the action. And Dave Bautista is getting better, but he's not up to par with some of the best actors in the world, obviously. So, and I saw someone threw it in the chat, so I wanted to bring it up.
No, I thought about him, but I'm like, he's kind of just getting started in a way. But like, it doesn't have to be the old action star. Like, it doesn't have to be that. They've obviously, we talked about it. They've thrown in younger guys, younger actresses here and there in the franchise, but I feel like he could play a role in the movie, for sure.
Yeah, they need some muscle. I mean, because Stallone's gonna have to fist fight somebody at some point in the third act where he has to, like beat him up and whatnot. So Dave Bautista could be that guy, but I don't know if Bautista would be into it. I mean, he was pretty much Daniel Craig's punching bag in Spectre, sort of. So
Here's a fun one, and I don't know if you guys have seen Bloodsport, but Bolo Young,
Hey,
who plays Chung Lee,
yeah,
which would be really really cool.
there you
He's also adding
go.
Ernie Hudson, which is interesting. Gary Busey. I just thought of one, and we just recently saw him. What about Tony Leung, who played Shang-Chi's father?
I still haven't seen Shang-Chi.
Oh,
What is wrong with
You know
you?
what? I think I missed the window with Shang-Chi. I'm gonna have to check it out on Disney Plus, honestly.
No.
I think because
you
nobody's
have to
talking
see
about
this
it
movie in a
anymore.
theater, Gio. Go see
Gio.
it in the theater.
I am taking you to the theaters to watch it. All right.
And you
We're
gotta
going.
hurry up, man.
This
'Cause
week.
October's slammed.
Doesn't matter. You have to see Shang-Chi.
Iko Uwais. That'd be a good
There
addition.
you go. RD Films got it. Ego UAs. Man.
Look, we're literally just throwing names at the wall.
Well, I think one more Mark Hamill in like a not an action role, but like he's the driver or
Make him the airplane the pilot or something.
Yeah. Oh, exactly.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what Harrison Ford was in the
Yeah.
Expendables. So make
Mhm.
him the pilot where he's just the escape route.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark Hamill. I would love it. Can you imagine? Like nobody knows he's in the movie and it's a surprise cameo.
Yeah, I mean they did that with a lot of because there were so
Yeah.
many. Yeah, like I think Chuck Norris was a surprise cameo, and what was that 2? I want to say that was 2.
That was 2, yeah.
When he was in 2. But look, I mean there's so many names that you can talk about that could join this movie. We just threw out about 30 of them. But I do want to ask if you guys if they came to you right now and said, hey, give you a chance. Oh my God, Michael Ironside. Oh my God. Why has that not happened? If they came to you and said, hey, we're going to let you cast one person in this movie, who's the one name that you would love to see join Expendables for?
Oh man.
And chat, you too. Same question to you guys. The one person that you would add to Expendables 4 today. I have mine. I'll go right now. Linda Hamilton. I want to see Linda Hamilton.
That's a good one.
I want to see Linda Hamilton.
Look, I don't want to choose the obvious choice, but I got to go Jackie Chan. I want him to come in and literally be like the most badass out of all of everybody, and he can beat anyone's ass in the movie. That's what I want. Jackie Chan. If I had to choose.
Clancy Brown is Chuck's option. Nick Cage is Rachel's option.
Damn. Hold on, give me a...
I think we could also do who we actually think is a realistic possibility for.
You know what I think we're gonna have to do after our Halloween draft? We're gonna have to draft the Expendables. That's what we're gonna have to do.
Ooh, that's a good one.
We might have to draft the Expendables.
Yeah, I mean you got to have Angelina Jolie in there, and
yeah.
Damn.
Only one, Gio.
You got to have Gal Gadot in the Expendables.
No, we're talking about Expendables 4. Come
on. Shit, man.
It could be somebody we already talked about, Gio. You're just choosing one.
Yeah, but you're only giving me one, and so I'm just like, who do I really want to
making
see?
sure you don't miss somebody. And it can't be Zack Snyder, all right? He's not is he an actor?
It has to be a legend, an action legend, not someone today, like, you know.
If Zack Snyder directed the Expendables, dude, that would be
that's his sucker punch redemption right there.
I'd be down for that.
There you go.
There's his redemption for that movie.
I mean, a runner-up would have to be Seagal, but my main choice, because Rachel doesn't like Seagal, I'm gonna go with Donnie Yen. You got to go Donnie Yen.
I thought you were gonna go Keanu, but
yeah, I thought about Keanu, but I feel like when general audiences watch the Expendables and Keanu Reeves shows up, they're just gonna expect Keanu Reeves to kick everyone's ass and whatnot.
Yeah,
and
they're gonna want John Wick inside the Expendables. Yeah,
it might take them out of the movie. Yeah, but I mean, I'll go Donnie Yen. Donnie Yen. I mean, he kicks ass. He kicked ass in Rogue One. He's a badass it man, and yeah, he'd be my choice.
Yeah,
hey,
Dom, you're good on this one. Val Kilmer would have been great at one point, but Danny Trejo is definitely a good follow.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Trail, man.
There you
There you
go.
go. We'll definitely throw around the idea of doing an Expendables draft because there are
I love
obviously
that
a lot of
idea,
names
actually. That's
that
a
we
good
could do
idea.
that with. So, but there you go, guys. Our official picks. I went with Linda Hamilton. Jacob went with Jackie Chan, and Gio went with Donnie Yen. Excuse me.
Some great choices.
3 incredible choices. I mean, if those three end up in the cast, you know where they got it from. Let's be real.
Yeah, exactly.
They're one of our. Someone from the production is one of the 9 viewers watching this show right now, and they're like, "Okay, we need to cast these 3 people on this movie."
You know what?
They wrote down all our names and they're highlighting
all 30
the
of them
main
are like, "Hey,
ones.
we can't do that. We'll do that for Expendables 5. We'll save them."
Yeah.
I want to know what the thought process was behind getting 50 Cent in this movie, because it's like, look, I love 50 Cent. Okay, like one of the best rappers of all time. Not top 10, but like one of the best ever. But like, I don't know, like
It's kind of random.
for an Expendables movie. I mean, yeah, he was in Escape Plan with Stallone, but it's just out of
Maybe
left
he's
field.
tight with Stallone. I think he's maybe fits the Expendables type role in the music world. Like he was a huge mega star and then he kind of fell off and everybody forgot about him. So maybe it fits that way.
Yeah. Megan Fox, though. I mean, I agree with Jake. You know, she did a movie recently called Till Death that's getting a lot of great reviews for her performance. And so I don't know. This could be the start
Is
of
that the
something.
Bruce? That's the Bruce Willis one, right?
No, I think that's Wish Death or something. Or
Oh, okay.
yeah, but I mean, she's in the spotlight. Her and MGK. So I mean, yeah.
I will end on this because he'll get them all rich and die trying.
Or die trying.
And thank you so much.
That makes
Thank you
sense.
so much for that. All right, everyone. Well, that's going to wrap up now tonight. We had a great conversation over a lot of different stuff. Talked about a couple trailers up top, Army of Thieves and The Harder They Fall. We talked about the controversy around the Super Mario Brothers cast, whether it was good or bad. And then obviously you guys heard our thoughts on the Expendables 4 and some names, a lot of names that we would love to see cast in this movie. If they keep making these, you know, there's a lot of people that they can end up casting, but we'll see what happens here in the future on who is casted. And again, if you see those 3 names casted, you know where they heard it first. Before we wrap up, I will let my fellow co-host here plug some stuff where you guys can find them online. Gio, want to kick us off, man?
Yeah. Well, you can find me on Twitter, mostly retweeting stuff at Grey Goose Jedi. I don't nearly have as much time these days. My channel, Fandom United, where I do some movie stuff there. I have a trailer reaction for Army of Thieves. You guys can check that out.
And that time is changing, correct, Gio?
They change, right?
The date change? It's changing,
Oh,
correct?
yeah. Fandom United Lives is happening on Fridays now, not Sundays, Fridays. So, yeah, stay tuned. And, excuse me. Oh, my God.
Jacob?
I want to say one more thing.
Oh, go ahead.
18 more days until DC Fandom. You guys stay tuned. I'm working closely with Jake. We're waiting on a freaking schedule to drop so we have an idea of what's going on, but keep that date in mind, October 16th. So,
and Mr. Bartley.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at JacobBartley824. If you play fantasy football or just a big NFL fan, you can check out my other YouTube channel, First Round Fantasy, on YouTube. If you're looking for some casual fantasy advice, come check us out. Also, Bartley and Barnes, Keith and I are working on our next episode. We have the Many Saints of Newark coming out, so we're going to do a review for Apocaflix, but we're also going to do like an in-depth spoiler review on the Bartley and Barnes show, talk about what that movie means for the whole Sopranos show, universe, whatever's going on there, and possibly going forward. So come check us out there.
Yeah, and you guys can find a bunch of other things here in Apocaflix. We're obviously doing the What If reviews. We have 2 episodes left of that show. We'll be covering episode 8 this week on Marvel Rewind, and then we'll also be doing a little bit. My washer is about to go off, so you hear a little jingle here in a second. We'll also be doing a Fandalorian Club special for Star Wars Visions, and you'll see a review on that either the end of this week or the beginning of next week. we're really busy, so we're trying to catch up and make sure we're watching all of it. As for myself, at Qui-Gon Jake on Twitter, 2 N's. Someone else took it before I did. You can also find me on A Certain Point of View, the Schmodown After Show, a couple times a week over there doing a live show and match reactions. And then also, thank you, Gio. Appreciate it, bud. And then also my own little channel I do is called The Whiskey Jedi. I do a channel where I talk about topics that I want to talk about. There we go. Topics that I want to talk about that isn't just Star Wars. So it's either Indiana Jones, Star Wars, but the most recent episode, and I know John asked in the chat. I actually did an episode last week. We did our heist team. My friend Dom and I, who was in the chat tonight, we revealed our heist team of movie characters, and we also review whiskey while on the show. So if you're interested, check it out. A lot of fun, kind of a hangout show. It goes live every 2 weeks. So I'll have an episode next week. I already have a guest lined up for that one. That'll be a lot of fun. So. And as always, this show's here Tuesdays, 7 o'clock Pacific, right here on this channel. Everyone watching live, thank you guys so much. We really, really appreciate it. For Gio, Jacob, myself, and Keith and Brian back home, have a safe rest of your week, and we'll catch you guys later. Bye, guys.